There's basically two kinds of tripods that I find useful. Big, chunky ones for studio use like this, and small, lightweight ones built for travel. Manfrotto sent me one of their most popular lightweight options, the Befree Live 3-Way Advanced, and I went on a mission to find out whether this is the best tripod for you. What I'm looking for in a tripod kit like this is a nice compact size with low weight, strong build quality, and a smooth fluid head for video. It comes in a little carrying case, which is nice, but the tripod itself is about 16 inches long and 4.5 inches wide when it's in its most compact form. But it can also be folded up the standard way, which gets it to about 24 inches long and 4 inches wide at the widest point. I actually prefer it this way because this actually fits into the side pocket of my backpack a lot better. At full extension, the Befree stands at 5 foot tall, which on its own is not enough to get above the crowd, but it is pretty standard. The whole tripod kit weighs in at about 4.5 pounds or 2 kilograms for you people who actually use the system. That makes sense, which isn't a whole lot of weight, but on long treks, if you're hiking with it for miles and miles and miles, it's a bit heavy. Not an issue for like sort of just your daily city travel stuff though. Let's work our way from the bottom up when it comes to the design of this tripod. It's got rubber feet which provide good traction, and each leg is split into 3 extendable aluminum sections. The bottom one is quite thin, so it's strong when it comes to downward force, but I'd be really careful when it comes to side impact, just because of the diameter of it. There's not much you can do about this if you want a small tripod though, because the form factor itself just has its size limitations, and you have to have some thinner parts than you might prefer. The leg extension clamps are strong, so I've got no complaints here. And the fully aluminum leg joints can be adjusted to 3 different angles, each of which locks into place and can be released and adjusted using this little gray lever right here. One funny thing I noticed is that the 90-degree angle does not actually get the tripod much lower to the ground than the angle before it. And that's all to do with this center column, because at the 90-degree angle it has to be all the way up, and at the angle before it you can slide the center column all the way down. But if you look, it actually comes to the basically the same height from the ground, whether you're at this setting or the lowest 90-degree setting. All in all, there's no way to get your camera less than 17 inches from the ground, or thereabouts though, which is pretty disappointing. There's also no way to attach any sort of weight to the Befree, so you're gonna have to be careful just not to knock it over. I understand that since it's a small, lightweight tripod, you'd have to be careful with how much weight you added to a sandbag hook if this had one, but I'd still like to have the option. The center column is pretty standard with a twist lock to tighten it into place wherever you want the height to sit, but it's what sits on top of this column that really makes this whole kit worth considering. The 3-way head is crazy. Of course, it has the typical side-to-side and up and down pans, but unlike other fluid heads, this one can actually be panned on the tilt axis as well. This allows me to quickly go from horizontal to vertical shooting of the same subject without ever having to use accessories or mess with L brackets and screws and all of that unfun stuff that can just get lost, and it's a headache. Twisting the handles locks and unlocks the tilt axes, and twisting this little knob here at the bottom does the same for the pan axis. This little knob at the head unlocks the mounting plate function and allows you to swap out this small included mounting plate with a larger option if you're running and gunning with a bunch of different mounting plates. There's 3 bubble levels on the tripod head to help you line up your shot whether you're in horizontal or vertical shooting mode. This works well for photos, but it also highlights the biggest issue with this entire kit. There's no bubble level on the legs of the tripod or even at the base of the tripod head, which means getting it to stand perfectly level on uneven ground is practically impossible. Even if I level it with the head of the tripod, if I'm filming and I'm going for a smooth panning shot, if the legs themselves aren't level, it's gonna throw off the level of my pan when I start to move it. For video shooters, this is pretty crippling, and it's a huge letdown for me. The fluid aspect of the head is awesome for video, but without a way to level out the legs, it's kind of useless. I mean, and it wouldn't have been all that hard to put a bubble level like right here or somewhere around there, which is, it's just disappointing. Of course, you can still eyeball it, and chances are that a little off-level shift isn't gonna throw off your shot too drastically, but I would like a reliable way to get it perfect. The Befree 3-Way Live Advanced is currently on sale for $220, which puts it pretty well in the middle when it comes to the price. There are more expensive tripods out there, and there are cheaper ones. However, that said, at full price, it's $320, which is a substantial difference. You can also buy the tripod head separately if you like the look of this, but want to use it with different legs. This tripod is an interesting animal. There's some very impressive things about it, but it's also not the lightest or most feature-packed travel tripod out there. That said, the flexibility of the tripod head is really awesome, and it would pair very well with a set of legs that have a built-in bubble level. My personal favorite pair of tripod sticks, the one that the camera is setting on right now, are actually a lot bigger and bulkier, so not so good for travel, but solve a lot of the issues that I have found with this tripod. If you want to see what those are and check them out, maybe they're good for you, you should watch this video up over here.